two people in my family, my two older brothers, were in some ways victim of the residential school system. My brother Terry, who's been running the Sweats, and my brother Dwayne, who's up in Chase. He's a pipe carrier and he's working with the Sundance people, but they've both been through a lot. And I was fortunate not to have been at St. George's for more than a couple of years before I moved down to Seattle. I was down in Seattle for 4 years. And we come back and it just recently started coming out of them lately. And a lot of people are starting to reach out. They're starting to look for answers. They want to get over what's been bothering them for all their life, eh? And it's hard for them to adjust. When the sexual abuse was discovered and everybody cried out and some people were happy and a lot of people were sad, when those people came forward and admitted the sexual abuse, they didn't have any mechanism for the healing process. After they divulged all this information and everybody knew that they had been abused in one way or another, there was nothing for them after that, and they were basically left out in the open, and a lot of them felt ashamed, and there were some cases of suicide where the people couldn't take the pain anymore, and so they took a way out that to them seemed right at that time. Eh? So when I started working with the social development, and Juan Serena, who's the senior social services manager here, we asked the people what it is they wanted, and they wanted some sort of community healing gathering where we could bring together people from modern medicine, healing, doctors, people with degrees, stuff like that, and then traditional healers. Bring them together and find a common ground where we could start solving these problems, start designing programs and services that are directly affecting all the different age groups in this community. And we could use this as an example to other communities on how we've started the healing process. Because when you bring people together like this and you start working at different problems, and there's so many problems to work at, that you sit down and you have a little circle and people bring out the pain that bothers them. From that pain, somebody else comes up with something, and you have a variety of different people with different answers that you can combine to solve not all of the problems, but at least most of them in a way that it's acceptable to the people who've been abused in one way or another. This gathering, the first one, this was a monumental success. As much as this one is, there's twice as many people here, but I think that's to be expected because a lot of people throughout Canada and even the United States are looking for ways to solve those problems. Community development, the wheel of that is starting to turn in a lot of different communities, and the younger people are starting to realize that if the change is going to happen, they're the ones that are going to have to do it, and they're going to have to stand up, they're going to have to be proud, they're going to have to stay in school, get the education it takes so that we can start solving these problems and start helping the younger people so that we're not passing on what was passed on to us, or at least some of the people who have been through that abuse. A lot of them come here, and when you bring strong spiritual people here that can really, really help these people in a way that they've never been helped before, it opens up a whole bunch of doors. Some are good and some are bad, but at least those doors are open and the people can start looking for a way to heal themselves that's not going to hurt anybody else within their circle.